Over some nice St. Patrick's 89-day Lucky Gnome Shirt. Rather interesting facts about this year's attempt to scare the bejesus out of us. The swine flu is simply the flu. It is not even particularly deadly and is milder than the normal seasonal flu. But, oh boy, has it been hyped up in the press. This year will be the first time both seasonal and pandemic flu vaccines have both been administered. Each flu requires 2 inoculations. We are told the reason for that is single. Instead, staff created a monthly Saturday afternoon event called SIGentific, geared specifically to deaf families but inclusive of all. At the door, SIGentific days are not solely about science programming. They are about deaf-led community experiences with science. Scientific's new door is more relevant to deaf families and their expressed interests. And then inside the room, they changed nice St. Patrick's 89-day Lucky Gnome Shirt the shows. Instead of offering sign language interpretation as an add-on, SIGentific shows flip the roles of presenter and interpreter. The presenters up front doing the experiments are deaf performers, supplemented by off-stage performers who provide voiceovers for hearing guests, while having sign language interpreters off to the side was a barrier to comprehension. Voiceover interpretation causes no such problems. Nice St. Patrick's 89-day Lucky Gnome Shirt, ladies' tee, long-sleeved, sweater and hoodie. Nice St. Patrick's 89-day Lucky Gnome ladies' tee, ladies' tee. Hearing audience members can fully participate in the shows, watching the deaf performers on stage and listening to voiceover interpretation. Furthermore, the staff designed SIGentific shows to nice St. Patrick's 89-day Lucky Gnome Shirt ensure that audible bangs or noises are not essential to the scientific concepts conveyed. This means the whole family and anyone else who happens to visit the museum on SIGentific days has a relevant, enjoyable experience with the science shows. The Science Museum didn't need to have a brilliant sense of the needs of deaf families to become relevant to them. They just had to be open to feedback and guidance from their new audience. They learned from their community of interest. They fixed what was broken. They changed the door in the room. Perhaps it's just the nature of the job or maybe a byproduct of the highly partisan political nice St. Patrick's 89-day Lucky Gnome Shirt climate in our country, but these days every presidency is filled with innumerable scandals. Given that our current leader is embroiled in his own controversies, it might be time to look back at previous administrations. Here are 10 of the biggest scandals during Obama's presidency. Tea Party, and Patriots. Just a couple of the words or phrases the IRS was looking for when they were deciding whether or not to grant nice St. Patrick's 89-day Lucky Gnome long-sleeved, tax-exempt status to certain groups. Overwhelmingly, the people who faced increased scrutiny were conservative, with nearly 500 organizations suing the government over their actions. As the head of the federal government, Obama was often linked to the scandal in the news. Revealed by an IRS official in 2013, the agency's program also targeted liberal groups. Nice St. Patrick's 89-day Lucky Gnome Shirt, but to a much smaller extent. A number of high-ranking officials were forced to resign as investigations delved further into the corruption. However, according to a 2014 House Republican report, Obama was not linked to any of the decisions made by the IRS. Courtesy lets people know that you care. The words, "thank you," show that you appreciate your employees' efforts. And this is important because appreciation is the number one thing that employees want from management. Since people often hear things differently, and they may be hesitant to ask you to explain what you said, you should ask, "Did I explain this clearly?" This will confirm that people understood you. You can decrease the tension associated with conflict if you always ask, "What is best for the company?" This gives people a different nice St. Patrick's 89-day Lucky Gnome Shirt perspective on your requests, and they will be less likely to take any conflict. Nice St. Patrick's 89-day Lucky Gnome Sweater. Personally, even though most of your workplace communications will be about business topics, it is also important to share your personal side. Let your staff know about your interests and your family, and ask them about theirs. Telling a few short personal stories about your interesting experiences will make your employees feel more connected to you as a person. Nice St. Patrick's 89-day Lucky Gnome Shirt. Since Second Life is such a new technology, most people using it in a professional capacity are knowledgeable about how it works and are building things themselves. Because they have to be, there's no in-house IT guy who's going to do it for them. I spend a good deal of time with university professors who run digital media, architecture, and informal learning departments at their institutions as they show me the experiments they personally have been initiating in the virtual world. These people are smart, creative, and looking for an outlet, experimental client that we are thrilled to offer them. Which leads, finally, to the experience of designing exhibits in Second Life. I went into this project skeptical about the use of Second Life as a collaborative design platform. The barriers to nice St. Patrick's 89-day Lucky Gnome Shirt entry are high. The software crashes, for me, about once each day. The landscape is foreign. And yet, I've become a convert to Second Life as a breeding ground for creativity. To that end, Obama also planned to answer questions about Obamacare next Friday during a live Nice St. Patrick's 89-day Lucky Gnome Hoodie. The Nice St. Patrick's 89-day Lucky Gnome Shirt streamed event at Blair House, just across Pennsylvania Avenue from the White House. Blair House, the historic government guest house, is traditionally inhabited by incoming presidents in the days before they're inaugurated, making it a particularly poignant place for Obama to push back on Trump's plans for his health law. The Obamacare push will likely be one of the president's final efforts to influence the direction of the U.S. on Jan. 20. Already, the White House is starting to ramp down operations, with Obama aides set to start offloading after New Year's as Trump's team prepares to take over. Obama's speech in Chicago on Jan. 10 is expected to serve as his closing words to the nation as president. His appearance will be open to the public and followed by a family reunion for alumni of Obama's former campaigns, according to a save-the-date notice sent to Obama alumni and obtained by the Associated Press. During the hours between my shift ending at work and the cinema starting, we were originally supposed to go to the sci-fi bookshop and have a look, but they were closed due to taking inventory. So instead we ended up at the Royal Armoury. The admission is free and it's the oldest museum in Sweden. And I think such places are so cool. Clothes, armor, weapons, and other things from all the old monarchs. It makes history feel so vivid. The first display was the clothes King Gustav III wore during the masquerade ball where he was murdered, old bloodstains on display and everything. Seeing nice St. Patrick's 89-day Lucky Gnome Shirt, the actual stuff makes history less like stories and more like something that actually happened. It feels like the people were really real and not just made-up characters. Then on Saturday, we had a kickoff party at work. I haven't laughed so much in a long time. It was great. Dee and all of us got pretty hammered. We started with a Jeopardy-style quiz about Stockholm and touristy things that we should be aware of. Nearby was a tepi and a pot boiling over the fire suspended from a pole. Other products